in 2009 is the second installment in the so-called Twilight Saga. 5 US vampire fantasy teen romance movies 2008 to 2012 based on Stephanie Meyer's same-named 4-book series 2005 to 2008. For the start of the series, see the same-named rearView. After an incident at Bella's 18th birthday party, during which she cuts herself and is attacked by Jasper, Edward blames himself. To keep her from further danger, he leaves her and the town of Forks with the entire Cullen clan. Bella, deeply depressed, deliberately seeks out dangerous activities that lead her to hallucinate Edward Casper, the friendly ghost style.
Pleasure to meet you, sir.
Jacob, who has supported her throughout her crisis so far, a deep friendship develops, but he wants more, suddenly changes his behavior, now belongs to a group of men in the tribe who constantly hang out half naked in the woods and cuts off contact. She nearly falls victim to a vengeful vampire, who is killed by a pack of wolves, and discovers that he and the other pack members are giant fluffy CGI werewolves, who in human form are only allowed to run around in gay shorts, and have been since obviously one of the Twilight templates Underworld from 2003, which among other things also deals with an impossible relationship there between a vampire and a werewolf, the vampire's ancient enemies, which is why there's a pact between the Cullens and the Gay Shorts clan. And since we are already blandly ripping off the plot anyway, I mean of course drawing inspiration, specifically William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet from 1597. The play is even shown on screen in the opening minutes for the truly simple-minded and actively watched and recited by the characters in school. Edward, thanks to the fragmentary vision from Alice, who possesses the X-Men vampire superpower of seeing into the future, but only then and as much or as little or not at all as the plot requires, and a preposterous misunderstanding over the phone which would require every stupid coincidence in the entire universe that Bella is dead, just as Romeo and Juliet each thought of the other and took their own lives with poison and dagger. And he travels to Italy, where coincidentally Romeo and Juliet is also set, to ask the vampire council, the Volturi, to kill him. Why doesn't he just turn to his supposed mortal enemies, the Shaggy Wolves, who are supposedly killing vampires all the time? It's supposedly the sole reason of their existence, after all. When the Volturi refuse, even though he himself established as Explanator 5000 that this is precisely their job to deliver vampire colleagues who launch for death, he intends to reveal himself as embarrassing glittery vampire in front of humans during the grand celebration, which Alice and Bella manage to stop just in time. As before, the soundtrack was released as a compilation of the used songs, among with the score version by Alexandre Desplat. Until Noon, the German title, is a wordplay. It also means Bite to Noon, by Chris Weitz, despite this time mostly negative reviews, broke US box office records. Is widely, quite rightly, considered the series' worst, sometimes swapped last places with Part 4. Yet still made on a $50 million budget more than 700 million worldwide back. Movie and novel tell the same puke boring, from everywhere thrown together, completely implausible story. In the unfortunately more detailed book, where also practically nothing happens, Edward, before he disappears, steals things from Bella. Like the mix CDs he made for her, photos, the car stereo, etc. that might remind her of him. The movie also, thanks God, spares us, like the last, much of Bella's constant, unbearable inner monologues. The women's long flight to Italy and their conversations, and some of Jacob's jealous and vindictive behavior. On the other hand, adds expanded scenes like the ride with a stranger, explanatory elements like the emails, and a bit more action. Like with Harry's death from the heart attack here caused by Victoria, and the book unexplained, and Edward's guardian battles at the end. The Volturi, whose leader Aro possesses the Vampire X-Men superpower of downloading everyone's thoughts by gay holding hands, so the analog version of Edward's mind-reading magical powers without contact, aka wireless, spare Edward in the end because of script. And thanks to a shared old vision from Alice, they give Bella, who is immune to all vampire superpowers, something very special, even though in an earlier scene she visibly reacted to Jasper's mind-manipulating magic for a cheap gag. The choice, instead of dying, to be turned into a vampire. And back in Forks, Edward agrees to turn her, but only if she marries him, which leads into the third part of the seemingly endless Edward and Bella soap opera. Of course, only if I don't decide to seek out the secret Film Critic Council, the mighty rearView after all.